All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's Columbus Common Council Special Committee of the Whole meeting. It is Tuesday, July 2nd, 6:30 p.m., and I would take a roll call, Susan.
Finkler. Here. Hammer.
Here.
Lawson.
Here.
Motive.
Present.
Reed. Should be joining us via Zoom. Relke.
Here.
Rostad.
Here.
Acknowledge this meeting was posted and noticed according to law.
Thank you. At this time, I would take a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll move to approve the agenda. I'll second.
Okay. I have a motion from Alder Finkler and whoever said it first, either Rostad or... Okay. Second from Alder Rostad. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? All right. Did we have anybody sign up for citizen comments for this meeting? No one signed in for this meeting. Okay. I will open the floor at this time. Is there anybody here who did not sign up who wanted to make a comment during this meeting? Okay. Seeing none. The first item up for discussion is the 2024 crack ceiling bid results.
All right, thank you. So pretty straightforward here tonight. We got a couple bids for you. The crack ceiling is part of our annual maintenance program. We discussed this a couple different times at previous meetings, and we had a budget of $18,305. On June 12th, we had 3 bids opened. Low bidder was $15,027, Farner Asphalt. Farner has done a lot of work in town over the years, very qualified contractor. This is kind of one of their specialties. So we were very happy to get the bids that we did, and they were very close to or in line with our estimates. So we'd like to see if there's any questions and get some favorable action to move forward.
Does anybody have any questions at this time? Alder Rostad?
What were we approved for this project?
We estimated $18,305, and we, as with that amount, we still had some contingency set aside in the street maintenance budget. The total contingency for both the slurry and the crack was about $7,700.
So is there something else we can add a street, or we'd have to open a rebid?
Normally what happens is, when we do these projects, sometimes we will go a little further through an intersection or pick up some more cracks, and then the final numbers will come in. So we'll probably just kind of use that to maybe, try and stretch a couple extra dollars into it but otherwise I like to kind of hold that to contingency till we're done, just to make sure we don't approve it up front and then we run out of money because we go over at the end, so.
Perfect, thank you.
Alder Lawson?
Yeah, the bid summary says that we reviewed the documentation submitted by the apparent low bidder. So do you not review the other bids, just the lowest bidder?
Typically not. We know they're all qualified. Again, these are typical players in the industry. So we know they're all qualified, but normally we just double check to make sure that they're current, they're not debarred, and some of those other things. The other bidders, since they aren't low, we assume you'll select the lowest. But given that they're all qualified, we generally only check the low bidder.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? Is everybody comfortable moving this one forward to the next meeting? Okay, thank you. The next item on the agenda is to discuss 2024 slurry sealing bid results. And Jason, that's you again.
All right. Very similar. Opened on the same day. We had 2 bidders. Our estimate was at $24,373. Our low bidder was Strucken Irwin at $25,783. So this one was just ever so slightly above our estimate. Both are obviously qualified. Both fit into kind of the scope of work here. So we'd like to recommend Strucken Irwin.
Any questions? Alder Rostad?
Just for history or knowledge, Strucken Irwin, I've always known as a fencing company.
Yep.
So do you know of work they've done?
Absolutely. That's kind of their hidden trait. They do a lot of slurry seal as well, but they also do fencing. So most people know them for that. Yeah. And I probably had the same question years ago when I started working and they started bidding, saying, how are they qualified? But they have a unit that does the slurry seal. So, and again, they've worked for us in the past. Either one of these contractors, Farner or Strucken Irwin, are very qualified. Again, with crack sealing and slurry, there's not a lot of contractors that do that very well or that are equipped to do that. There's some more residential contractors that do it, but again, these two are great companies, so very, very happy to recommend either one of them.
And then another question I did have is, seeing Farner was on both, is there a way, I know it's probably not legal the way it's posted now, but if they would give both of the contracts to get a better price? Or how would you do that?
Yeah,
in the
that's
future?
that's a great question, Ryan. And the difficulty comes in, they're probably the only contractor that I know that does both. What we used to do with this project is we used to bid it out together. So we'd do slurry seal and crack seal as one contract. And of course, Farner would be the one that would say, hey, we could do all of it. The problem is all the other contractors had to subcontract with somebody else, and it was very difficult to get bidders interested because, because both these contracts are similar size, nobody wanted to take the lead on the prime. The crack seal guys said, well, I don't want to do it, and the slurry seal guy, I don't want to do it. So we found out we struggled with getting bids, so we broke these out separate and just let them stand alone. We do see Farner typically put in bids on both of these, and sometimes they're successful in getting both of them, and sometimes they get one, sometimes they get none. So it's kind of a toss-up to how we do this. But by breaking them up, we did that intentionally years ago to get some better results, and I think we do now than we used to.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Any other questions or concerns? Alder Reed, I see you have joined us, and I unfortunately do not have you on my monitor, so I can't see whether you've got your hand raised. Do you have any questions?
No questions, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, are we comfortable moving this one forward as well? All right. Then at this time, the last thing on the agenda is to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we are adjourned.
Right, with that, we will move right into the Columbus Common Council regular meeting. And thank you to all that are in attendance, and also thanks to all that are in attendance by watching on cable. With that, could we have a roll call, please?
Finkler.
Here.
Hammer.
Here.
Lawson.
Here.
Motive.
Present.
Reed.
Here.
Relke.
Here.
Rostad.
Here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I acknowledge this meeting was posted and noticed according to law.
Okay, thank you. And with that, I would look for a motion to approve tonight's agenda. One item under consent agenda, there were no mayoral appointments that are for approval for this evening, so.
Alder Motif will make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Motif and a second by Alder Lawson to approve tonight's agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Correspondence and communications? No one signed in for this, but we do have recognition of Officer Matthew Schultz. Dennis.
All right. June 18th was Matt's last day as an officer here in the city for 21 and a half years. I thought it was very fitting to recognize him for his time. It's a long time, especially in this day and age in law enforcement. It's a long time. He's represented by friends and family here, which I think is very important as well, because this job alone involves your friends and your family to keep you going. You miss out on family time. You get called in early. A lot of disruptions in the life in the profession of law enforcement. All we accept, we don't complain about, but it's like a teamwork approach between coworkers, friends, family. It all has to be positive to keep things going. Matt joined the department in December of 2003, and I've worked with him just about his entire career, except for 4 months between my part-time and my full-time. I started in early '04 here, part-time. So I've gotten to be around him a lot, got to know him, laughed with him a lot, shared the many things that we do on calls, good, bad, and indifferent. So I've had a lot of different experiences with him. He's benefited the department and the community in a lot of different ways. One of the things he was involved in, he was a firearms instructor for the department, which trained all of our staff, and even we do joint training with some of the other municipalities, Fall River, Rio, and such. And that's a great responsibility to have that skill and to have that passion to teach others. Some can do it, some can't do it, some don't want to do it, but it's a very important skill, especially when it comes to the matter of using deadly force and shooting accurately and understanding your weapon, understanding its abilities, your abilities, and putting all those things together. So I think that's one of Matt's biggest accomplishments here is what he provided to benefit our department and other departments as well for many, many years. He was an official humane officer here in town. So at one point, so when we had an animal issue, Matt was always called because he had the official state certification as a humane officer. He was very active in National Night Out, putting it together. Matt was a huge help over all the years, getting it done for us and making contacts, helping set up, helping take down whatever was needed. We could always count on him for that without question. His latest interest was peer support. He went to some training last year and has been able to work with some of the officers when we've had critical incidents to make sure that they're okay and to monitor them and in a positive way, just to make sure that, we want everyone to be well mentally and physically. So it's very important. Matt's filled a lot of roles. I know I'm probably speaking for him, but I'm guessing this July 4th will be the first July 4th in 21 years. He hasn't been working. I'm guessing you're not working July 4th? So, that's something we tell all the employees, and even when we're interviewing people, you'll never have another July 4th off while you're working here, just because it's an all hands on deck. Same with the National Night Out. So hopefully he's going to enjoy this 4th of July. I'm sure we'll see him probably around the park. He's going to miss it, so I think that's why he's coming, not for the fun. And he's going to have more holiday time with his family, with his friends. It's just he chose to go down another path and try something different, and we all respect that, and we appreciate his time for the city and for the department, and I've gotten to know Matt very well over these years, and I want to wish him well, and I also want to present him with a plaque that I had ordered. It says, honoring 21 years of service, 21 years, 6 months of service, Officer Matthew Schultz. Thank you for your loyal and dedicated service to the Columbus Police Department and community. You served with pride and honor, City of Columbus Police Department, and then at the bottom it is June 18th, 2024, which was his last day of work in the office. So I want to present this to Matt, and I want to give him an opportunity to speak if he wants to say anything. Matt likes giving speeches, so I'm sure he'll keep it nice and short.
Mine was over 3 minutes, so.
But congratulations. Thank you.
I don't need to say anything up there. Just a couple quick things. He basically hit everything that I wanted to talk about. A lot of the things when you deal with law enforcement, you need them people around you that are going to support you. And I see the people here that made it really easy for me to go to work and come home. Appreciate everything you guys have done. So. All right, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I will be bold enough to say that on the behalf of the city, we thank Matt and his family and friends for their dedication for everything. And it's been, getting to know the different police officers over the years, well, any of the city employees for that matter, but it's always a joy. It's always a pleasure. And that's probably one of my greatest things is all the people that I've been able to be associated with, and Matt being one of them, Kelly another one, and yeah, so fantastic. So thank you very much, Matt. Okay, with that, we'll move on to the consent agenda, and that is the council special committee of the whole and committee of the whole minutes from June 18th, 2024.
So move.
Second?
Okay, motion by Alder Rosted and a second by Alder Finkler to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion with that? Michael? Oh, okay. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, consent agenda approved. On to new business. Consider and take action on the change of the November 5th, 2024 council meeting date, which would be moved to, I believe it was October 29th.
I'll move to,
Go ahead.
I just wanted to move. I will move to move the November 5th council meeting to, was it
October
October
29th.
29th?
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler and a second by Alder Roki to move the November 5th council meeting to October 29th. Any further discussion on this item? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is moved to October 29th. Thank you. That'll make your life easier. Next is to consider and take action on the amendment to the agreement for the clock tower maintenance, as was discussed last meeting.
Alder Motif will make a motion to amend the agreement for the clock tower maintenance.
Second.
Okay, Alder Motif and a second by Alder Rosted to approve the amendment to the agreement for the clock tower maintenance. Any further discussion on this item? Hearing,
Just a question, do we have
Sure.
to approve the dollar amount change or just the amendment? Okay. Sorry.
just the,
So redo the motion?
no, yeah. But we will do a roll call, so.
Motive.
Aye.
Roki.
Aye.
Rosted.
Aye.
Finkler.
Aye.
Lawson.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Okay, then next on the agenda is to consider and take action on the award of the 2024 crack sealing bids to, how do you pronounce that again, Jason? Farner? Farner Asphalt Sealers in the amount of $15,027.
I'll move to approve the 2024 crack sealing bid for Farner Asphalt Sealers in the amount of $15,027.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Finkler and a second by Alder Rosted to approve the 2024 crack sealing bid. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none, roll call.
Roki.
Aye.
Lawson.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Finkler.
Aye.
Rosted.
Aye.
Motive.
Aye.
Ayes have it, 6-0.
Okay, then next would be to consider and take action on the award of the 2024 slurry sealing bids to Struck and Irwin Paving Incorporated in the amount of $25,783.31.
Alder Motif will make a motion to award the 2024 slurry sealing bid to Struck and Irwin Paving in the amount of $25,783.31.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Alder Motif and a second by Alder Lawson to approve the award of the 2024 slurry sealing bid. Roll call, or any further discussion on this? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Lawson.
Aye.
Motive.
Aye.
Rosted.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Relke.
Aye.
Finkler.
Aye.
Ayes have it, 6-0.
Okay, then next would be to consider and take action on the claims in the amount of $347,446.19.
Alder Motif will make a motion to approve the claims in the amount of $347,446.19.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Motif and a second by Alder Finkler to pay the claims. Any further discussion on this item? Hearing none, roll call.
Rolke.
Aye.
Finkler.
Aye.
Lawson.
Aye.
Motive.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Rosted.
Aye.
Ayes have it, 6-0.
Okay, and next on the agenda is report of the city officers.
I just have a few brief things. First, the Recreation Department wanted me to announce that the Firecracker 5 returns this Thursday, July 4th. Starts at 8:30 a.m. You can still register at the starting point, which is the Aquatic Center on Thursday morning. Second, want to wish the community happy 4th of July celebration. Looking forward to attending my first in Columbus. And I know a lot of volunteer work, a lot of staff coordination with DPW and the Recreation Department to ensure that, as well as the Police Department, to ensure that we have a safe and joyful celebration. Lastly, want to thank sandbagging volunteers. We had roughly about 15 people who came out last Monday night, helped fill sandbags. Also want to thank Mullins and Kelly Crombie for donating food for the volunteers that evening. And just in general, we've gotten some really good feedback, good compliments of city staff and their efforts to deal with last week's flooding, communication related to that. And so we've shared that with staff as well. That's all I have.
Okay. Just to piggyback off of that, I'd like to thank the DPW crews and all those associated in the emergency management people with the flooding that had happened. I mean, I think the crews did a phenomenal job, and we're right on top of it. So it was just a good thing to see the concerted effort to keep us safe. And then with that also, I would like to wish everybody a happy and safe 4th of July celebration. Head out to the park, have some cheese curds. With that, I'd look for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second?
We have a motion by Alder Lawson and a second by Alder Rosted to adjourn. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned from this meeting.
Does anybody need a break, or is it okay to just roll right through? Let's roll. Okay.
It's a holiday week. That's Jeff. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Welcome back to the Columbus Common Council Committee of the Whole meeting. It is Tuesday, July 2nd, and it is 6:55 p.m., and I would take a roll call at this time.
Finkler. Here. Hammer.
Here.
Lawson.
Here.
Motive.
Present.
Reed.
Here.
Thank you. Relke.
Here.
Rosted.
Here.
I acknowledge this meeting was posted and noticed according to law.
First item on the agenda is to approve the agenda.
So move.
Second.
Okay. I have a motion from Alder Rostad and a second from Alder Motif. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next item on the agenda is citizen comments. Did we have anybody sign up to speak at this one?
No, we did
Okay.
not.
Included in this packet, you will find committee and commission minutes from beautification on 5/20 of '24, the Aquatic Center on 4/17/24, Hillside Cemetery 5/20/24, Hillside Cemetery Annual Meeting 6/10/24, Library Board 5/21/24, Police and Fire Commission 5/20/24, Tourism from 4/8/24 and 5/6/24, and the Utility Commission from 5/29/24. And then the first item up to discuss is review and consider alcohol license application for Magnolia's Mexican Grill and Bar LLC. Susan?
Yes, thank you. So we received a full application for Magnolia's Mexican Grill and Bar, and the owner is Magnolia Infante Fuentes. And they have paid all their fees. She has her alcohol license, individual bartender's license, and they are going to be in the former Yum Yum Thai Kitchen address, 128 East James Street. They're already making preparations to open by August 1st, once they're approved. Scott has done his initial inspection, and everything looks really well. They have to finish replacing, I believe it has something to do with the extinguishing system, but they're working on that, and when they have that done, they're going to contact Scott to come back out and finish with his final inspection. So everything is looking really, really good.
Does anybody have any questions or comments?
I just have a general question. Do we have a limited amount of liquor licenses?
We have, I believe, 3 more available.
Okay.
Any other questions? Is everybody comfortable moving this forward for a vote? Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is to discuss certified survey map CSM for 366 East Poet Street and 807 Farnham Street, Columbus. And Mike, I'll give that to you.
Yeah, this CSM is really to adjust a property line. The Wolves wish to purchase a portion, some of the land from the adjacent lot, and so essentially this is moving a lot line over to address that. Both lots will still meet our subdivision regulations and zoning regulations. It's just adjusting the lot a little bit, so. But the Plan Commission did recommend approval along with the changes, conditional approval along with the changes in the review letter from Ruckert and Milky.
Does anybody have any questions?
Just one. So the letter from Ruckert and Milky said that, in the first paragraph, the review may not include all city requirements for this submittal, but I'm assuming then the Plan Commission did verify that all requirements have been met?
Yeah, that's the review that I did.
Okay.
The review of the zoning and the subdivision.
Okay, thank you.
Requirements.
Any other questions? Is everybody comfortable moving this forward? Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is to discuss the facade grant program guideline revision, and that is you again, Mike.
Yeah, this is a program that has been laid out very well in how it's operated, how it's executed, and these facade grant programs are really one of the fundamental tools in revitalizing downtown. One of the changes, though, I think that can make it help to increase better impacts in downtown, bigger changes, is to increase the maximum project size dollar amount. Currently, it is $1,000. That doesn't go very far today. This program really, it's a dollar for dollar match. So if you put in $10,000 on a project, you can get a $10,000 grant back in a project. So the proposed, one of the proposals in the change here is to up that to $25,000 so that we could essentially really incentivize a full facade improvement in downtown. And I think that really would incentivize people to do a significant improvement. And what's neat about that is the community sees that. It really makes a very visible difference in downtown. And I think, you know, doing improvements in downtown is more challenging. Multiple stories, tuck pointing, older buildings, those kinds of things. So this change would really, I think, help over time make a significant difference in downtown.
Does anybody have any questions for Mike? Alder
I
Rostand?
have a
Oh,
question.
go ahead, Alder Reed.
Oh, thank you. Just wondering how much is currently available in the facade grant program? I agree that we should definitely bring the limit up when we have enough.
Right now, there is $32,500. In the past, that amount has been much lower, and I think we would like to adjust those levels up in future budgets.
Alder Rostead?
Trina had the first question, and I think the second question you answered. So that money comes from the budget, at a budget meeting, the 32.5?
Yeah, it's approved as part of our annual budget process.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Is everybody comfortable moving this forward for a vote? Alder Finkler?
I have a quick question. So if we only have $32,000 in there, and this raises it from 1,000 to 25,000, if somebody uses up the whole amount, that's basically like a one and done then?
It's a first come, first serve program, and so it gives the Community Development Authority the discretion. They don't have to award 25,000.
Okay.
It's their discretion of
Up to.
Up to. It's an up to amount.
Okay.
But that is always the thought of, well, there might be someone else out there, but then you might go the full year and not have another project. So that is the challenge there. And we might look at some other tools in funding that program, because if you look around other communities, facade grants are one of the keys. Year after year after year, consistent funding. If we can do one major facade renovation a year, you can make a significant difference in your downtown.
Yep.
I think that's the key, right? Is if we do start awarding $25,000 and then someone's ready to apply for that funding, and now you're seeing a $50,000 impact on a building in the downtown, it makes other business owners aware that it exists, and if you start seeing, an annual project that's in that $50,000 range, all of a sudden those stack together with maybe some TIF projects, and now you start to see some momentum in the downtown.
Alder Motter?
I just wanted to add a little bit to what Mike said, and the CDA has a very good process where they review the applications. There needs to be estimates, they have to have the dollar for dollar match. There's all kinds of things we go through when we go in and review what they're asking for.
Alder Rostead?
The money that's not spent at the end of the year, does it roll over for them, or does it go into the general fund?
My understanding is that it rolls over for the Community Development Authority. And CDA does have a fund balance. I think that's around $60,000. It's just not designated for that line item. So let's say we had a couple projects this year that wanted to get going on something, we could fund likely 3 projects if we had 3 projects all at once, if CDA wanted to allocate their fund balance towards that.
So it kind of confused me in a minute. So the extra money, the cash fund, does that roll over too as well?
Yes.
Okay, perfect, thanks.
Alder Lawson?
And I think something that we didn't cover is it's a reimbursement, correct? So while it has to be approved up front, they have to actually spend the money and do the project and get reimbursed the match.
Right. We have to ensure that the project is complete. They need to submit invoices, yes.
Any further discussion? All comfortable moving this forward? Okay, thank you. Next item is to discuss the Beautification Committee's request for approval to sponsor a fundraising project through the painting of garbage cans in city parks. And we do have Sherry Colhane from the Beautification Committee. Do you want to come forward to the podium, Sherry? Sure. And then if you just want to, the face with the 3 wavy lines, there you go. Oh, you're on. You're good.
Okay, all right. All right, yes, I'm on the Beautification Committee. We have come up with some guidelines that more specifically define what we're trying to do. It's a fundraiser that we're trying to use, we want to use the money for other future projects. And it kind of kills two birds with one stone. It is nice to look at, and it also hopefully will raise some money for us to use. The guide, does everybody have a copy? Oh, okay, all right. So basically, I just tried to outline what would be the best way. Our vision for this was to have either individuals or groups. I have an extra one if you want it. Our vision was to have either individuals or groups, such as Girl Scouts, Cub Scouts, school groups, church groups, whoever, to sponsor one of the barrels. They would be responsible for painting the barrel, and I've outlined guidelines that we would have to adhere to, and things we won't allow on the barrels themselves. We had discussed a fee of about $40 for each submission. So the barrels we already have the barrels. They were donated a long time ago. I talked to Troy from DPW, and I guess we have about 40 barrels, which is probably way more than we need. They basically are in good shape. We can just use them as they are. I've outlined on here the best way to do this is to paint it with a spray paint to start with, and then paint whatever design you want on it. This would, again, this would be a voluntary thing. If people want to do it, they could. If they don't, hopefully it will generate some community pride, some participation. I foresee this as things like a Girl Scout troop decides to decorate it, or you could have any group you want. So, like I said, most things are laid out in here. If you have any questions for me, I'll try to answer those.
Aldermotive?
First off, thank you for being prepared and coming with a plan. That's very, very helpful.
Okay.
My only question is there a time limit that these are going to be out, or is there a plan by the beautification committee to remove these as the paint starts to break down, which will happen over time?
Right. We haven't really come up with a specific time limit because I don't think anybody knows for sure. If it's spray painted and acrylic, the right kind of paint is used, which I wrote in here, and it's sprayed with a sealer, it should last for a really long time. I mean, there's no reason they shouldn't, we can leave them out all year. There's no reason they have to be taken in. Acrylic paint, I mean, latex paint that you paint your house with, that lasts a really long time. I suppose at some point, if they start looking really tough, then we will just remove them.
And I guess that's what I'm looking for, is the commitment of the beautification committee to go ahead and remove them when they start looking poorly, as opposed to the city having to pay staff to keep an eye on that.
I guess we haven't discussed that. There's only 7 of us on the committee. So I'm not sure. We would probably need Department of Public Works to help us remove the barrels. I mean, I don't know that I can go out myself and remove the barrel. We would probably maybe talk to them and get a commitment to remove the barrels. I don't think, you're talking about maybe 1 or 2 at a time. You're not going to, if one starts looking bad, then all they need to do is go down there and pick it up and take it back to the garage. They're emptied, I don't know how often they're emptied, once a week, once a week. And again, DPW does that. So I don't know that it's that much to ask that they, if 1 or 2 of them starts looking bad, I don't think they're all going to look terrible all at once. Mm-hmm. And I'm guessing they're going to last, I would guess, 3 years at least, maybe more. I know they did this several years ago. The 4th of July committee had a barrel contest, and they painted them, and I don't really even know what happened to those barrels. But again, I don't think they're all going to look like terrible at one time. So I think it's probably a minimal thing that we're talking about.
Matt, did you want to add?
Yeah, I would just make a recommendation that, very similar program in other communities that had some guidelines about going back to the group that originally did it and ask if they would want to refresh it at the time it needs to be refreshed. Otherwise, it could then be made available in a similar arrangement for the next group to take, ownership of that barrel, repaint it, and make sure that it's looking in good shape.
Sure. I mean, we could certainly do that.
Paul?
I also thank you for putting some guidelines together, because
Sure.
that was a big sticking point last year when this was discussed. Excuse me. I would request or suggest, however you want to take it, to add some language somewhere in there that provides that the beautification committee has the final approval over
Okay.
the subject matter.
Sure, I can add that.
Then in case there's something really goofy that comes along, you'd at least have an out.
Sure.
Alder Rostep?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think DPW already empties them, so I would suggest that you put it in their hands to contact you or the committee if they see a barrel that's in need of some fixing. And to reiterate your other point, if you look close, there is still barrels that are in the park from the 4th of July.
Is there?
Back
Okay.
in the day.
I guess I haven't
And
noticed.
that's, and I was on the committee for 15 years, and that's a long time ago, so they're still there.
Yeah.
You just gotta look for it.
Mayor
Is
Hamlin?
that the 4th of July scavenging?
Well, and those barrels did, I mean, they lasted a long time.
Yeah.
So going with all the weathering and such, so, yeah.
Any other comments or questions, or is everybody comfortable moving this for a vote? Okay. Trina, did you have a question?
Oh, thank you. No, I just really appreciate, having some, expectations and suggestions laid out. I don't, all the barrels will go bad at different times. It'll totally depend on how they're primed or gessoed, and then how they're coated. So it'll be all different times, from the starting of the year and then going something 5 years. So I don't think we have to worry about mass peeling all at once.
Right.
Did you have any language or want to have any language on if a barrel doesn't meet expectations, or we're just going to leave it as having expectations and just we'll get there if we get there?
Well, I can add some language in here about we have the final approval. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
yeah, I will do that.
Thank you.
Very good.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, Joe?
Yeah, one thing that we had discussed at that meeting was actually people submitting something on a piece of paper of what they would be proposing, so that the committee would have say, yeah, this is good, or no, you need to tweak that. So-
Yeah.
Alder Rostep?
2 parts. So can we move it forward with the correction that's been suggested for the language? And then secondly, maybe you could add in there non-refundable if denied, to make
Okay.
them take a little pride in what they're gonna draw
Sure.
up, because they're not gonna get their money back.
Yes, I can do that too.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Next item on the agenda is to discuss request by area veterans organizations to display veterans banners in downtown, and I believe we have Jeff Craco here to discuss that.
Yes, I believe we do. This started during the pandemic, when the seniors couldn't have their graduation, and they put banners up, all the seniors, and I thought that was pretty cool. And so then I thought, well, could we do veterans, around Veterans Day? And so for a couple of years, we did it as a group of veterans, and we put it on the wooden light poles, and I brought the best picture I could find. And the only way to do it was put PVC pipe through and then put a screw at the top and at the bottom. I mean, we're going to flat service on a round pole. There's only so much you can do. And what happened was with winds, of course, they're only on by 2 screws. Some of them came down. With the new lamp posts and the new holders, I think would be perfect. And I see a lot of communities doing it now, that they're honoring veterans. I think Beaver Dam leaves theirs up most of summer. And I'm still looking at just mainly around Veterans Day. I did have some families ask that their deceased veteran be put up at Memorial Day. As well, we're not going to climb up and down multiple times. So that's the way I left it at Veterans Day. That was purely my decision. That it seemed to work. Everybody seemed to enjoy it. And I know Beaver Dam puts the name of the veteran, their years of service, their branch, their rank, and everything. And I thought, again, it was during pandemic, I don't like identity theft. I don't want somebody to know who I am and everything I served, and they're going to call up, oh, I served with him way back in '75. Well, no, I don't know who you are. My wife already had calls like that way back when, so I don't want her to go through that again. So that's my suggestion on it.
Anybody? Alder Finkler?
I love this idea. I think it's fabulous. I think just something on our side for coordination. And this just like sparked something in my brain. Whatever happened to the Charlie Cardinal that was drawn by the person at the high school that was supposed to be put on the poles? Like, I just think this sparked a reminder to me that like we may need to start thinking through a process for this and a coordination for this, because I love the idea of changing out the banners. I think it's great. It brings, attention to downtown area, but we need to have some coordination in place.
I think the artist backed out on the Charlie Cardinal.
No, she didn't.
No?
No, I know her mother, and she was actually quite despondent that they hadn't gone up yet.
Okay.
So I think the Beautification Advisory Board actually has a topic that's about the banners. I don't know if they've discussed this at the last meeting, which I missed.
So this wasn't brought up. This is actually something when I was still working for the utility, Jeff had approached me about putting banners up, and so we, gave them the approval to put them on the poles. This being a kind of a, with being the black poles downtown and all that, it would be easier to, for us to allow the cooperation of the DPW and utility crews to install them. Taking them down, leaving them up for Veterans Day, and then taking them down when the crews would put up Christmas decorations, and then get them back to. So there's the coordination will be there. It's just as for the Charlie Cardinal part of it, I don't know where that stands, and I guess maybe we can do some more looking into that. But so this was kind of a separate thing other than, the type of banners that beautification was looking at, so.
I do have a little bit with the, getting the banners back to the veterans. We tried to do that. Some people showed up, some people didn't. We had to store them. And then when it was time to put them back up the following year, we had to try to get them back to us. And so I was kind of hoping they could be stored somewhere where the DPW could get to them, and they would have full control and get them up. And we also had people, the first year we had people coming 2 weeks after we put them up. Well, I got mine now, can you put it up? Here we are running up and down ladders and stuff again. And so it's going to have to be a firm. This is the day they're going up, that's it, you don't have it. And we're all going to have to get new banners too, because the brackets on the new lamp posts are different.
Alder Rostad?
So do we have the brackets, or would we have to purchase them?
Some brackets are on.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it would be, the ones that are already set up to have banners.
Okay.
That are in the downtown area. So, beautification's plan at some point, if we can, is to put up more brackets going that direction and that direction. And, but, those are costly, and so hence fundraising and such. But the banners, the organizations are picking up for the banners.
Each
so
veteran
it's-
pays for his own.
Yeah.
And Cardinal Embroidery does them, and he he's very nice to us. He does it pretty much at cost, so.
So the brackets are already there, so.
And then would the new ones that would be downtown, would they be two-sided? Because they would be this way instead of screwed to the pole.
I talked to Brian about that today, and he says there's just no way to double side them unless you put two banners up on the same bracket. And,
Can you?
probably could. Now, I don't know how many people we would get to do this, you know. I know Beaver Dam has them double-sided. I don't know how they do it. But they also charge $300 a banner. I don't think we'd get a lot of veterans to do that.
Other questions?
Do we display banners downtown now that you'd want them taken down?
Pardon me?
Do we already display banners downtown now, year-round? We do?
I don't think it's year-round.
Not currently anything on the.
Okay.
Alder Lawson?
So when they said that they couldn't do two-sided, was it anything on the opposite side, or is it the
No,
full
because
print?
the light shines through. I don't know if you can see it. You know, the light is shining through there.
Yeah.
And so it looks kind of bad, and you'd have that on both sides then, where you'd have an image shining through on the other side, so.
Right.
You notice I got the pole came with me too.
Mayor Hammer? Oh.
Could we do a little research to find out what it would take to be able to have the two-sided? I think it would do much more justice and honor those who have served more to have it on both sides for people to see.
I would have to find out where Beaver Dam did theirs, because Brian said with what he has, it won't work. So I went to stay local, let him do it, and he was very upfront with me about it. He said it just wouldn't look good.
Yeah, I mean, even if it was something as simple as, you know, your picture on one side and your service branch on the other. So
Well,
if there's
we
something-
have it on,
I know,
you know,
yeah.
so. I guess the way we did it on the light poles was we had it on the right side of the road, so people going that way could see it. You know, because people don't usually go backwards, but sometimes they do.
All of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, that kind of.
Right, Chief?
Well, I think the you know, how the banners are is kind of immaterial. I think
Yep.
this is more getting that we give permission for our crews to assist the military with putting these banners up.
Paul?
Mayor just hit what I was going to say with the Charlie Cardinal, with the veterans, with a couple other things. A few years ago, we had a very long conversation about flower pots hanging from these and who was going to water them and that whole process. If you're going to start having interest in groups using the poles, it would be a really good idea for this body to decide how it wants to handle it, just so there's a process. And delegating it to beautification is not a horrible idea, or you making the decision so DPW can be engaged, that's okay too, but just to have a process would be a really good idea.
Are people comfortable moving this question forward for a vote? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is to convene to closed session per 19851C to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility for the purpose of a 90-day performance review of the city administrator.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, I'll take a roll call, please.
Hammer.
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
Finkler.
Aye.
Lawson.
Aye.
Motive.
Aye.
Rostad.
Aye.
Relke.
Aye.
We are in closed session.
We will not be coming back to the air tonight. Thank you, everybody who has tuned in online. Have a nice evening and a happy 4th of July.